Okay, so I went to Publix yesterday and I got a big pumpkin. I'm not gonna carve it just yet because I'm doing a contest. I already asked my kids how much seeds they think that this pumpkin have. They gave me their guesses, so I'm just gonna do it a little better. Whoever can answer it on the comments, and to see whoever wins, we get a prize. I'm asking also my niece and nephews who live in Georgia. I asked my kids who live in Florida. But this pumpkin is as big, like 3 times size my head, and it's not heavy, but it's not light either. And I'm also gonna put in this video. I'm gonna put a book about pumpkins and how can you tell about counting their seeds. Now, after you watch the video, please comment how many seeds there is, and I'm gonna do a video of me doing a jack-o'-lantern, and after we carve it and take all the junk out, we're going to count the seeds, and then in another video we're going to toast the seeds and eat them. So let's see who's going to win. Whoever wins, I would choose their name from the comment, or it could be one of my kids or one of my nieces and nephews. It could be anybody, including my hubby.
Okay.
Let's see. That's my daughter. You want to see her? Hi.
Hi.
Her hair's messed up.
I had the pumpkin.
What do you think we should carve?
I'm gonna make a Mickey Mouse.
Mickey again? Didn't we did Mickey last year?
Okay.
Okay, so what else?
Oh, I got my idea.
What idea?
We make an orca something.
A orca?
Yeah.
We'll see. Let's see, okay? As a family. Okay.
Orca.
So, may the best winner win. Good luck. Bye. Say bye.
Bye. I say nighttime.
Bye.
How many seeds in a pumpkin? Charlie liked school. He liked his teacher, Mr. Tiffin. He liked his best friend, Alex, but he did not like lining up to go into the school. Mr. Tiffin class lined up by size, tallest to the smallest or smallest to tallest. Charlie was the smallest in the class every time. One chilly fall morning, Charlie was surprised to see 3 bright orange pumpkins on Mr. Tiffin's desk. One pumpkin was big, one was medium, and one was small. How many seeds in a pumpkin? Mr. Tiffin asked the class. Does anybody know? Nobody knew, but everybody had an idea. The biggest one has the most, said Robert. I bet it has 1,000,000 seeds. Robert was the tallest boy in class. The medium one had 500, Eleanor said. Eleanor always sounded as if she knew exactly what she was talking about. The tiny one has 22, said Anne. Anna liked every number better than the odd ones. Even numbers better than the odd ones. Mr. Tiffin wrote down all the guests on a blackboard. Charlie was very quiet. What are you thinking, Charlie? Asked Mr. Tiffin. I'm thinking that all the best guesses are taken, Charlie said. Why don't we open these pumpkins up and see, said Mr. Tiffin. The next day, the kids in Mr. Tiffin's class brought in spoons for scooping and bowls for holding and plastic bags for throwing out. They covered the floor with newspaper. They put on their smocks. It's a messy business counting pumpkin seeds, said Mr. Tiffin, but the classroom was ready. After Mr. Tiffin cut a circle around each pumpkin stem, Kimberly, Alex, and Jack pulled off the caps. The children peeped inside. This big one definitely has the most, said Robert. We'll see, said Mr. Tiffin. The pumpkin pups was slimy and stringy, and the seeds were hard to get out. When the children was finished, there were 3 empty pumpkins, 3 full bowls, and 20 messy hands. Tomorrow we will find out the answer to our questions, said Mr. Tiffin. Tonight your homework is to think about how we should count all the seeds. That afternoon, Mr. Tiffin dried the seeds. The next day, he put them in 3 paper bags, marking big, medium, and small. Did you do your thinking homework, he asked the class. Yes, Alex said. I think we should just guess. I think we should count very, very carefully, said Tara. I think we should count by 2s, 5s, and 10s, said Molly. The class agreed that Molly had a good idea. Robert, Kimberly, and Jack all wanted to count the seeds in the big pumpkin by 2s. Anna asked if she could join them. We can be the 2 clubs, she said. They practicing counting 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. They sat together. Jimmy, Tara, Eleanor, Molly, and Alex like counting by 5. We'll count the seeds in the medium pumpkin, said Molly. We can be the 5 club. 5, 10, 15, 20, they cheer. I'll take the smallest pumpkin, said Charlie. I guess I'll be in the 10s club. Good idea, said Mr. Tiffin. 20, 10, 20, 30, Charlie began. Soon there were many groups of seeds in front of each pumpkin. The 2 clubs. See, said Robert, the 2 clubs have the most. They had 170 pair of seeds. The 5 club. We have lots, too, said Eleanor. They had 63 groups of 5 seeds, and 1 seed left over. The 10 clubs. Charlie had exactly 35 groups of 10. Robert looked at the seeds in front of Charlie. You don't have a whole lot, he said. Let's get counting, said Mr. Tiffin. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, began Robert, Kimberly, Jack, and Anna. It took a long time to count 170 pair of seeds. My brain hurts, said Anna. The biggest pumpkin had 340 seeds, almost 8 million, said Jack. The 5 were a little easier. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, Janet, Jeremy, Tara, Eleanor, and Molly. There were 316 seeds in the medium pumpkin. Too bad for you, said Robert. It's not a contest, said Molly. The tens were the fastest of all, since there were just 35 groups. 10, 20, 30, 40. Charlie counted to himself. This can't be right, he said. What can't be right? Asked Mr. Tiffin. There are 350 seeds in my little pumpkin, said Charlie. That means it has the most of all. So it does, said Mr. Tiffin. Congratulations, Charlie, said Alex. The 10 club win. It's not a contest, said Robert. Mr. Tiffin told the class to gather around. You can never tell just how many seeds are in a pumpkin because you open it up, he said. But there may be some clues. Take a look at these. The class did. Charlie is darker one, said Anna. It has more lines on the outside, said Robert. Yep, said Mr. Tiffin. For each line on the outside, there's a row of seeds on the inside. That's good to know, said Eleanor. And the larger the pumpkin grows, the more line it gets, he added. Its skins get darker too. So even though my pumpkin was smaller, it was on the vine the longest, said Charlie. Exactly, agreed Mr. Tiffin. When it was time to go home, the class lined up by the door. Smallest to the tallest this time, said Mr. Tiffin. Robert was at the back. Eleanor was in the middle, and Charlie was at the front. Small things can have a lot good going on inside them, Charlie said to Mr. Tiffin. And then they left the classroom with Charlie leading the way. Pumpkin facts. 1. Pumpkin seeds are small but powerful. A whole huge pumpkin grows from a tiny seed. 2. You can eat pumpkin seeds if you want, but you should ask somebody to roast them first. They contain a lot of vitamin A. 3. If you plant pumpkin seeds, do it after grounds warm up in the spring. You need a lot of space for them to grow. Pumpkins grow on vines. 4. It takes about 4 months for a pumpkin to grow in full size. So plant your seeds by June if you want a pumpkin for Halloween. 5. Is a pumpkin a vegetable? No, it's a fruit. 6. Some pumpkins are small, like those. Some pumpkins are really, really big. Usually, big pumpkins don't taste very good. Small, sweet pumpkins are the kind you should use to make pumpkin pie. 7. Counting by 2s and 5s and 10 make counting go faster. There's not really a pumpkin fact, but it's true. A note from Mr. Tiffin. I looked pretty careful for those 3 pumpkins so that Charlie, Robert, Anna, and the other students, would not be able to predict what was inside. Pollination pumpkin varies, and time on the vine determines how many lines are in a pumpkin and how many seeds are inside. Size alone is not the most important thing, which works out great for Charlie. The end.